If you're thinking about buying a home in Fairbanks and North Pole, one of the biggest questions that comes up is pretty simple. How much do you actually need for a down payment? Because a lot of people assume they still need 20% down, and that's usually the thing that stops them from even starting. But here's the reality. Most buyers here don't put 20% down, and once you understand your options, buying can feel a lot more doable than you think. In this video, I'm going to break down the most common down payment options we see right here in the interior, what real numbers actually look like, and how to figure out what actually fits your situation. Let's start with the biggest misconception. You do not need 20% down to buy a home. That's a goal, not a requirement. Most buyers, especially first-time home buyers, are nowhere near that. Younger millennials are averaging around 8% down. Older millennials closer to about 10%. Even repeat buyers don't always hit that 20% number. So if that number's been holding you back, that's usually the first mindset shift. You don't need perfect conditions to get started. Now here's where Fairbanks and North Pole really stand out. We have some of the strongest 0% down options in the country. If you're a veteran, VA loans are a huge part of this market. If you're active duty military, a veteran, or just eligible for a VA loan, you can buy with 0 down and no PMI. And locally, this is not unusual. Sellers understand VA loans because chances are they bought their home with one. Our local lenders are experienced with them as well because they do them every single day. It's built into how this market works. Then you've got USDA loans. Areas like North Pole, Salcha, Two Rivers, and parts outside of Fairbanks qualify for those as well. So now you're looking at another path to 0% down, especially if you want more space. And this is where a lot of buyers start to realize something. It's not about how much you saved, it's about which loan you qualify for. So if you don't qualify for a 0% down option, there are still some strong low down payment options as well. FHA loans start at 3.5% down. These are great for buyers who are newer to the process, have moderate credit, or using savings or family support. Then you've got conventional loans as low as 3% to 5% down, depending on your situation. These tend to work well if you've got stronger credit and want more flexibility long term. And here in Alaska, this part really matters because homes here aren't always standard. They're definitely not always standard. We've got different kinds of boilers, different kinds of fuel tanks, different well or water options. We've got different septic systems, all kinds of things. So financing isn't just about finding the right loan, it's about understanding the property too. Even with all of this, the best move that you can make early on is talking to a local lender, someone who understands how lending actually works here. That's where Bethany Yoakum at First Rate Financial comes in. She works with FHA, VA, conventional loans, USDA, rural properties, energy efficient homes, all of it. And more importantly, she helps match the loan to your situation. So after this, having that conversation gives you real numbers, not guesses. So let's make this real. On a $350,000 home, which is a very common price around here, 3% down means about $10,500. 3.5, about $12,250. 5% down, $17,500. 10% down, $35,000. VA or USDA, 0% down. Goose egg. Even though they are exact math, they aren't quotes for your exact financial situation. I'm not a lender, so I can't tell you exactly what you qualify for. But these numbers give you a much clearer picture of what getting started actually looks like. And for a lot of people, that's way more achievable than they expected. So how are people coming up with this money? It usually follows a few patterns. For first-time home buyers, they're typically relying upon saved up money, family help, or some sort of side income. For move-up buyers, they're typically using equity from their current home, selling that, and coming up here and buying a new one. For military folks, PCSing up here, they qualify for the VA loan and they're using their BAH pretty strategically to purchase up here. Healthcare and education, they're sometimes relying upon relocation assistance. So again, there's not really any one path to getting up here and getting started. It really kind of depends on where you're starting from. Now this is where a lot of buyers get surprised. The down payment isn't the only upfront cost that you're going to see. You've also got the cost of your earnest money or your skin in the game, the cost of your home inspection, your appraisal, and your homeowner's insurance premium. In Alaska specifically, you're going to have the cost of filling your heating fuel tank. You may have the cost of water tests and septic inspections depending on the property. Closing costs are a part of it too, but a lot of buyers negotiate seller credits or use lender programs to offset some of these. It's not about avoiding these costs, but it's more about planning for them. So here's how this usually breaks down. If you're military or veteran, VA loan is often the best fit. If you're just starting out, FHA or 3% conventional loan works out pretty well. If you've got strong credit and a little bit more saved money, 5% conventional gives some pretty good flexibility. If you want more space outside of town, USDA might make the most sense. If you're selling first, you might have a larger down payment and can reduce your monthly costs. And this is where it really comes down to you. What matters more right now? Getting in sooner or putting more down and lowering your payment. If you're thinking about buying in Fairbanks and North Pole or just trying to understand what those numbers actually look like, we make videos like this every week so you can figure it out before you make a move. Most of the people that we end up working with started out right here, just trying to understand what's realistic for them. If you want a full breakdown of neighborhoods, utilities, VA strategies, and what it actually costs to live here, grab the relocation guide in the description. And if you're trying to figure out your next step, whether that's buying your first home or moving into something new, you can always reach out to us directly at 907-888-9445. We'll talk with you soon.